of yesteryear. Now, when the 22nd of Nisan, Chaf Bet Nisan, is going to mark the Hilul of a very famous rabbi of his time, a rabbi that really spoke out against the Shabtai Tzvi. His name was Rabbi Yehudah Rozanis, a great Torah author, a great literature, very, very great rabbi in of its own right, very much decorated, lived 70 years of age. He was one of the great rabbis of the late 1600s, early 1700s. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life here, as I'm recording this in the city of Ramat Gan, just before the Shabbat, Yom Shvi Shal Pesach. So it's always a very special time to relate over a video on the great Chachamim in of itself. Now, he was born, I believe, in the year 1657, and he passed away on the 22nd of Nisan in the year 1727. So he would have been about 70 years of age at the time he passed away. I think, to be precise, it was the 13th of April that year he passed away. So we're talking about nearly 300 years ago from the time of recording. He authored various different great Torah colossal works in of itself, and including, I think, on the Mishnah Melech, on the Mishnah Torah of the Rambam. Now, he was born in Turkey, I believe. Very interesting. In Constantinople, also properly known as Kushta, he was born. And he actually came from great rabbinic auspices. His father's name was Rav Shmuel Rozanis, another great rabbi. And I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was related to various other great rabbonim. I think his father-in-law was Rav Avram, if I'm not mistaken. Ben Rav Meir Rozanis, the elder, and I think he had quotes on various occasions inside his book. So that's also interesting. Okay, so he actually had a great rabbi himself, who he learned under the auspices of. A rabbi was spoken once again, also on various occasions before. His Rab's, so he was, his rabbi's name was Rabbi Shmuel Halevi, who's been mentioned in various places before, in various different books. And I think also he was close to Rav Shmuel, respectively, also probably known as the Hamarit. Now, it's interesting, Rav Rozanis would actually establish various different yeshivot, I believe, and would actually garner up many, many different great Talmidei Chachamim. I believe he'd become a posek, a rabbi that would render different halachic laws, and he was also a head of Jewish courts, respectively. It's actually interesting. He would also, I think, deal within regards to the trade business, mischar, and within regards to trading, buying, selling in of itself. He would have many, many outstanding students, including the famous Rabbi Yaakov Kuli. He was author of the Ma'amloes and the great rabbi, especially of the Siloniki dynasty in of itself. Another one of his Talmudim, I think, was Rab David Palkon, I believe. He happened to be the Baal HaPerush, the author of the Perush, or the Bnei David. This was actually based on Rambam, Maimonides, respectively. Also, another one of his Talmudim, I believe, was Rab Chaim Kimchi. This is another great rabbi we've spoken about. This is, let's just say, from the galaxy of the great Turkish rabbis as students in himself. Now, we stated on the onset, he was a staunch opponent of the Shabtai Tzvi and the Shabtais in of itself, and he signed boycott letters against them and against various other people that, let's just say, were part or connected within regards to Shabtai Tzvi, including Natan Ha'azati and Nechemiah Chayon and Chaim Malach. I believe these were some European rabbis in of itself. Now, I think he's mentioned in very, very different books, poskim, and I think under the title Harab Tana, respectively. Let's explore a few of the books that he left us, really great books. I think it's reported over that many of his writings were stolen, and I think Rabbi Yaakov Kuli will actually testify within regards to that. But I do believe there are some Torah colossal works, including the Mishnah Lemlech, the Mishnah Torah of the Rambam, the Parshat Derachim, which is, let's say, investigations, Chakirat Ba'inyanim Shonim, and then the Derech Mitzvotecha, which was another great book on the mitzvot in of itself, another which I'd recommend everyone to look into. I think on the various different, looking at the mitzvot, on the Sefer mitzvot of the Rambam, I think we'll talk about over there, and the various different, let's just say, the systems and formations of the mitzvot, which ones are good mitzvot, which ones maybe on the other side, let's just say, in of itself. I think that was actually published, if I'm not mistaken, the latter we're talking about, in the year, I'm not too sure the exact year in of itself. There was Harot al Sefer HaChinuch, which actually came out in Frankfurt in Germany, I believe, in the year Hektav Kuf Mem Gimel. And those were just a taster of some of the great books that he had. And I believe, passed away on 13th of April, 1727. I think he passed away in the time of Ottoman Empire. It was an era in Constantinople, as we said before, in Kushka, in Turkey, respectively. This was a place that had probably arguably the greatest community of that point in time. I think several works of his bear approbations called Haskamot by Rabbi Yehudah Rozanis. I think among others was Rabbi Yosef al-Monsininos in the Edut Yehosef in of itself. And his devoted pupil, Rabbi Yaakov Kuli, would actually, let's just say, in of itself, help out and write. The Mishnah Lemelech, just to go back, had glosses and comments on the Maimonides, on the Mishnah Torah, respectively. And I think it was printed later on another edition with the Mishnah Torah, I believe. And the pamphlet of the Derech HaMitzvot, which was obviously on the 630 mitzvah commandments, was based, let's say, on the treatise on the same subject of Maimonides, respectively. So I'll actually, just to quote the Parshat Derachim, which was printed in 1727, that was a work, just to add on to it, containing 26 homiletic treatises on various different subjects. And so it was really, let's just say, his knowledge on Arabic, for example, and Turkish would actually help him get an appointment by the government as a chief rabbi. So he was actually known as a Hacham Bashi, I believe, of the entire Ottoman Empire at that point in time. So he passed away at the age of 70 years of old. He was a son-in-law also of Rabbi Rozanis, another rabbi I believe mentioned about various occasions before. Then we get to light candles in his memory. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great Oriental rabbis of yesteryear. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel now. If you feel anyone's interested in watching these videos, share the videos to other people respectively, and don't forget to like and share the videos. So wishing you well, Chag Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom. I'm recording this just for Shabbat Parshat Yom Shvi Shel Pesach, 7th day of Pesach. So take care and be well.